Hello, hello. It's day two, and I am so excited about day two. I hope you loved all my story. It was story time, a little bit of story time yesterday on day one, but today we're going to get more into the nitty gritty, more into the tell me what feng shui really is. Like when people talk about a bagua map or yin and yang or elements, like what are the elements on this chart, Sandra? And what are you talking about, chi? So we're going to talk about all these things today, and I'm going to give you some analysis, like explanation, very basic, but some explanation on how you can use this chart to really like see what areas of your home relate to which areas of your life, and how you can use this map to really start to design your life, to create, or to manifest what you truly want. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And then tomorrow is going to be so super fun. Tomorrow, I'm going to give you some practical tips, some like really cool stuff that you can do, that you can implement right now in your home to see shifts, to see shifts in how you feel, to see shifts in the things, the opportunities that come to you. This is really about designing your home with intention. And then also, it's about sitting in awareness of what is it that we want to create and what are the gifts that are coming. Sometimes we don't even pay attention to them. So I'm excited to dive into all of these things today. If you've missed day one, go back. These will be in, these sessions will be up for at least a week. Last month, I said I was going to keep them up for a week, and I left them for a lot longer than that. But they're going to be here for at least a week. So you're going to have time to be able to go back and to be able to take a look. If you haven't taken a look at the Bagua map, it's my newest Bagua map that I'm so in love with. But if you haven't taken a look at the newest Bagua map, please do so. I've posted it. My tech team has posted it in this group. You can see the picture part of it, or you can also go into the files section and you'll be able to see the Bagua map, the downloadable Bagua map. You know, you can print that out, you can frame it, you can do whatever you want with it. But all right, so I'm Sandra Priestley. If you missed me yesterday, I feel like you know me, but I'm Sandra Priestley. I am a leadership coach for female entrepreneurs. I'm also a feng shui practitioner, and I love working with entrepreneurs. Why? Because, well, they're like me, right? Like I love to create. I love to learn more. I love to do, and whether it's like a hobby business or $1 million business, I love it all. It's so much fun. And I really just believe that like every day is about learning something more, something a little bit more about ourselves, right? Like it's amazing the knowledge that we can really dive into. So let's go on feng shui. Now, yesterday I kind of started to, oh, by the way, if you're here live, please let me know. If you're watching the replay, please say hashtag replay. I love for you to interact. Don't just kind of watch. I am famous for doing this, actually. I just kind of watch and I get so enthralled in whatever is being said that I don't comment. And I'm like this creepy neighbor that just the Wilson that just peeks over top of the fence watching. But I'm 50 and I don't really even get this social media thing. So it's like, I love when people actually come in and talk, like as if you were in my house. Like that's how it feels to me. It's like you were in my house, because if you were in my house, you probably wouldn't come in my house and just sit there and stare at me. I mean, you could, but it'd be weird. So if you're here, let me know. And if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. Okay, let's go. So I told you yesterday about how I learned, I was just naturally knowing that when I changed my space, I changed how I felt in my body. I changed how positive I could be. Like I changed my outlook. It was like if I changed my environment, I could change the way I viewed the world. And that was mind blowing to me. And then I watched Oprah, and Oprah's like, oh, wait a minute. We can shift what we attract. We can shift what we manifest. We can create things using our space because there's like a natural flow, a natural pattern to the energy. And when we know the pattern and how the energy moves through our space, we can use that to design our lives. It's like mind blowing to me. And one of my favorite quotes, I remember thinking, how does this work? And I don't know. And how does this work? Like, how is this possible? Like, I am the girl who stresses out thinking that there are planets suspended in the air in a galaxy, and at the end of the galaxy, there's more galaxies, and we don't know where it ends. Like, where does it end? Where are we floating? This freaks me out. So the idea that feng shui is like there's energy patterns and we don't understand, like this was just mind-blowing to me, really scary in a way because my brain couldn't conceive it. One of the best ever quotes that I feel I really really like was by Sarah Rossback. And what she said is, although some cures seem logical, and I'm going to talk to you about the logical ones, I'm still not sure why feng shui works. This Sarah Rosbeck, I mean, she's been doing feng shui for years, and she said, why a few simple, seemingly inconsequential alterations in our environment can make it more comfortable, more positively imbued. Perhaps the answer is beyond our current level of knowledge. It was like, and it was so mind blowing to me. It's like, at the end of the day, I don't know why feng shui works. I just know that it does. And sometimes we just gotta like sort of let go and just, you know, try it and see. Like, why not try it and see? Right? So I started learning, and when I was Googling and when I was like trying to help my friend or my boss, and honestly, I was so confused. I would grab all of these different books, and they seemed to contradict one another. And that was the biggest thing that I thought. I thought, how is it possible all of these books contradict each other? Like, if this feng shui thing is a thing, then why do they contradict? Like, I don't get it. And what I realized after I started learning more, because I was like, well, is wealth in the back left corner? Is wealth in the southeast corner? How am I to know? How is, like, in my wealth corner, that's not southeast. Like, if it's back left, that's not southeast. Now what? Now I'm confused. Now I don't know what the hell is going on. And no wonder no one uses this stuff over in the Western world because it's too complex. So, what I realized is there are several main schools of thought on feng shui. I chose to just follow the one that felt most aligned to me. It felt like I could feel it in my soul. And the one that I chose, so there is Compass School. I do not do that. There's Form School. I do not do that. But I love BTB Feng Shui. And why it is because it's a collection. It's a collection of Jungian theories, and it's got some psychology. It's got law of attraction, Buddhism, shamanism. It's sort of like this beautiful collection of powerful modalities. And I loved it so much. So, what I'm going to tell you is this: if my type of feng shui if that is what aligns with you, if that's what you like and you want to Google, you'll still see some shifts in how different practitioners will focus. And each of us sort of have our own sort of thing. I go more heavy onto the psychology of it and the law of attraction and manifestation. There will be others that do things like, they will do like chants and stuff. That's not me, so I don't do that. You can search out BTB feng shui, you can search out Western feng shui, and that will give you the same similar map. Sometimes the maps, each practitioner calls them different things. This is why it's so damn confusing. It's also why I tell people that, like, you could choose one person that you like. If you're going to buy a book, choose one person and just stick with that person, or you can stick with me. But I have purchased so many books over the years, and the way that I teach it is like, it's like a little bit of this person, a little bit of this person, a lot of me. So I hope that that makes sense. I know there's a lot of superstitious stuff in feng shui, and I have chosen, when I was started learning, I would believe the superstitious stuff, and I started to focus so much on it, and I was scared. I was like, oh my gosh, I moved into this house and the people before us got divorced. Now what? The house is cursed. What am I going to do? I need cinnabar for the doors. We can't get cinnabar in Canada because it's banned. Oh my God. Now what? Will cinnamon work? And my practitioner is like, what you focus on, you bring more of. So when I teach, what I feel like I teach is law of attraction, using your space to make you feel better, just like I did. Using your space like a 3D vision board. We know vision boards work. We know that what we speak out into the universe and what we put out into the universe works. We know that when we be, do, have, when we step into the person that we want to be, when we step into that energy, when we step into that energy of whatever's possible, when we step into that, we can create amazing things. We can pay attention to the things that come into our space. And so when we focus here, we can attract amazing stuff. And for me, using my space as a constant reminder to my subconscious mind of where I'm going allows me to step out of what was and what is and into what else is possible. And that, when we can get that energy in our bodies, that is where we manifest the amazing stuff. Okay? So, we know there's different types of feng shui. We know it's confusing as fuck. We know that I do BTB feng shui, and I use a lot of psychology, law of attraction, and manifestation. All right. What are the things that are non-negotiables, though, that I think most, if not all, practitioners will always focus on, and I'm going to still too, are these 4 pillars of feng shui. Okay. So one is chi flow. And I'm going to give you some tips in here too on how we can shift the energy of our space throughout the day too. So one of which is chi flow. Now chi, I'm sure that some of you have heard the word chi. Chi is energy. That's it. And we know that our space holds energy. You want to know how I know this? When I worked in the prison, I remember I was a parole officer, and my office was on the units with the inmates in their living spaces, and I was behind closed doors. So like I was locked in with them, where the guards were out in the pod outside. So when I first started, one of the guards had said to me, "If you open that door and the hair stands up on the back of your neck, come back in." And I'm like, what if it doesn't? Like, what if something's wrong and That doesn't happen. And the guard is like, it will. Trust me. Okay, let's go. And I felt that. I walked in and I thought it was like it was my intuition. I thought like I didn't know, but the hair would stand up on my arms. I knew something was happening before it would happen. But even more so than that, it was like the energy in this space, like we would say on the units, I would walk in the door in the morning and the guards would sometimes say things like it's hot in there, like the energy is hot. And it was like days before something would happen on that unit, like days before, or if there was like like a legal brew on the unit or something, or there was tension on the unit, you could feel it when you walked in. You knew there was a different feeling to the energy. You can tell this in your own space when you walk into a space where there's just been an argument. You don't know the argument, nothing. You walk in and it just feels different. The energy changes. We also know this, I mean, like even just there's so many experiments like with the water, where you like put negativity and negative words or negative vibration or feel negatively around a cup of water and feel positively around a cup of water, and then you freeze them. And the one that had all the negative energy to it, like it was like frozen in really weird, sort of like angry block of ice, whereas the loving one was happy. So we know that energy exists. And this is the key. Chi is energy. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that our space has lovely chi flow, that the energy flows through it. Okay. So one of the things that we want to make sure that we do is remove the clutter. Now, clutter is just more than my dog's toys that happen to be in the middle of the living room. Clutter is undone tasks. So if you think about that, you think about like clutter being an undone task, you wonder why you're anxious, why you have this anxious energy in your space if there's clutter in your space. That's why. Because it's speaking to your subconscious mind and it's saying, take care of me, take care of me, take care of me. You've got so much to do, right? But it's more than that too. So in Feng Shui would say that Qi is stuck energy. It can't move through. And so, just like we wouldn't walk up the stairs and have a couch there because it would stop the energy. And we want to kind of keep everything so that it's got nice flow. That's what we want. We don't want a rushing river. We don't want a stagnant pond. What we want is to encourage the energy to flow. So we don't want too much stuff and we don't want not enough stuff. We want to have interest in every like little area so that we can sort of like shift our view. I always say where my eyes go, the chi flows. So, it's like, and if there was like a bunch of toys in the middle of the room, my eyes go and then they stay there because it's an undone task. So ideally, we're going to look at this space in our area and make sure that it's decluttered. Now, if you're going to declutter things, clutter is, to me, represents anything that's holding you back from what you want to create. So if something is broken or chipped, the Chinese will actually get rid of a priceless Ming vase if it has a chip in it because it's deemed to be like bad luck. I don't think of it in that way, but I do think of it in this way. If we are keeping something that is chipped, like plates or broken somethings or others, all of our things, it represents lack. If we have like a kitchen towel that's ratty and old or holes in it, can we afford to purchase a $3 kitchen towel? Probably, but sometimes what we do is like we hold on to it because we think, well, I can't afford, like, well, it's just a waste of money. It's just, but when we can design our space to be something that we love, we attract more. So clutter could be broken things, things you don't love, things you don't use, things that you haven't put in away. Everything should have a space, otherwise clutter comes. Um, but it also could be things that represent the old you. We want our space to represent who, like where we're going. Now, does that mean you've got to get rid of all of your old pictures? No, I have pictures that I absolutely love of my kids. In fact, I have one in this room right now. It's got lots of little pictures of my kids, and I love it. But I wouldn't have my entire home with old pictures. So it's okay to reminisce, and it's good to reminisce, and it's good to have fun. But also, we want to make sure that we have things that we're not holding on to a ton of the past. We want to make sure that we have a good balance and that we can create and design our spaces for where we want to go as well. So that's all I'm going to talk to you about chi flow. I could talk probably for days on all of these topics, but we're not here for days. We're only here for another hour and a half, or half an hour today and then an hour tomorrow. So that's what I want you to know about chi flow, is that removing the clutter is important. And what happens practically, like if you've looked at the Bagua map, look at which rooms you notice that clutter collects. Someone in the group yesterday said, oh no, my bedroom in my new house, my bedroom happens to be my wealth area, and that's where all the stuff collects. And this is what happens, is like inevitably there will be a space where we have more clutter. What that's doing is stopping the energy into that area of our lives. Super cool. So we want to make sure that the chi flows well everywhere. I'm going to be talking about some chi flow things tomorrow that is like practical tips you're going to love. But for now, that's what we're going to do. Look at the clutter. All right. So number 2 of the forms is yin and yang. So you know that the circle that looks, it looks like the yin yang symbol. And what does that circle represent? It represents balance. So there's a black side and a white side, and it's like you can't have the black without the white. You can't have the dark without the light. You can't have the sharp without the soft. You can't. It's like this balance of two opposing things. And what makes them amazing is that when you bring them together, when you bring together a balance of opposites, if you have too much light in your space, it's going to feel agitation. If there's too much dark in your space, it's going to feel kind of, depressing, right? We want to have a good balance of everything, of soft and sharp, of shiny and dull, of dark and light, of bright and muted, of excited energy and relaxed energy. And that balance, when we can create that balance in our space and that balance in our body, it's amazing, because what happens is everything starts to flow a little bit better. Like everything works together. So yin and yang is really just about balance. So take a look around. Like for me, I wear a lot of dark, so I love the bright colors that I have. But our home is fairly muted and dark right now. And it's because I wanted it to be this relaxing, safe haven from the energies, that the go, 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 go energy that we have. Especially when my kids were in a lot of sports, and I really wanted to create this space where it was like it could counteract what it was like throughout the day. So, do I still have bright colors? Yes. Do I still have like some muted tones? Yes. But I think it's really important that we can actually shift how we feel based on the things in our space as well. So, next, the third one, we're going to do the Bagua map, is fourth, but the third one is the 5 elements. So, um, sometimes feng shui is known as like acupuncture for the home, um, which I think is really cool too, because acupuncture is just, like stick a pin in and like let the movement, like let the chi flow, right? Let the energy flow. And so this is sort of the same thing. And we can use the 5 elements of water, wood, fire, earth, and metal to adjust the chi flow. And on the Bagua map that I'm going to talk about in a bit, there are each of the guas have different elements of the 5 elements. They have different elements that they connect with, right? Remember that I said, like, I don't know, how does this make sense? But energy is everywhere and energy patterns are predictable. So wealth just naturally likes wood. Why? Wood grows. Um, wisdom, self-knowledge, just naturally that gua likes earth. Why? It's groundedness. Health, earth, groundedness. Reputation, fire. What do you want to be known for? Fire. So everything has the element of one of those 5 elements. Sometimes you'll hear wind, sometimes, heaven, but in the feng shui that I'm talking about, the 5 elements are water, wood, fire, earth, and metal. Now, I'm not going to go into that in detail. That was probably the most confusing thing that I found that I was working with, because there are destructive cycles and constructive cycles, and I mean, it can get to be a lot. So when I work on someone's home, or when we go more into how we can use our space to shift how we feel in our bodies, or go into a deeper dive into the Spagua map, and into feng shui, I'll talk about those things. But for right now, know that each of the guas likes primarily one of those elements. And if you look on the Bagua map, I've got them all listed in there. And the shapes and the colors are in there as well. So hopefully that helps you out and it's giving you a good visual. Okay, now those are the three of 4 things. And now we're going to talk about the Bagua map, and we're going to talk about this for the remainder of the time that we're together today. And then tomorrow's super cool things. Now, here's the thing that I want you to know about the Bagua map. And I want you to look at it. Like, you'll see that the tech team of mine, they've done colors around each of the squares. Now, here's the thing. If you painted your home in those colors, it would look like you lived in a fucking circus tent. You don't need to paint in those colors. And in fact, in many of my spaces in my home, I had not, for example. And sometimes I've done the wrong color completely. But we don't need to focus. We don't need to be so specific. Okay? Hey, there you are, Shannon. We don't need to be so specific and so rigid on it. I think that creates fear. So what we want to do is just start with this. There are 9 areas in a Bagua map, 9 areas of our lives. And they have a specific energy pattern. And the way we're going to lay this map, so I'm going to explain. So if you have the map now, just take a look at that, or you know, print it out, come back to this video. So we're going to start at your architectural front door. This is the one you'll notice on the map. It's like, where would the pizza dude go? I don't give a shit if you go in through your garage and you take your groceries in through the garage. And I only go through this door, Sandra, the one from the garage into my laundry room. Don't care. The architect that designed your home doesn't want you to use that door primarily. The door that you can see from the lane or from the road, the door that the pizza dude would be looking for, that's the door. That's the way the house was designed. That's the door that we're going to have. So that entrance wall of your house that has that architectural front door on it, that's at the bottom of the map. And you can just, the way that I was trained was to take your tape measure and measure everything out, and everything had to be perfect. And, like you needed a math degree. And I don't do that. Why? Because I'm not going to be that rigid and specific. So what I would do is say, get a piece of paper, rough sketch your home, and let it be. Let it be okay. If we're going to wait for everyone to get their tape measure out, measure their 3,000 square foot house or their 1,000 square foot house or whatever it happens to be, and make sure it's perfect, is never going to happen. So I just want you to kind of generally have an idea of where these spaces are. Now, do most of us live in a square home? No, we don't. And it's okay. I don't want you to panic. I don't want you to panic and go, oh my gosh, my laundry room is in my wealth corner. Now what? We're destined to be broke. No, everything can be fixed. No house is perfect. This is why we use Feng Shui. But I just want it to be, just allow it to be okay. So rough sketch your house, grab the map, take a look, and place it the bottom of the map at the architectural front door. Okay, so now we can see that there are 9 areas to this Bagua map, and each of the areas have should be represented in your home. Okay, so Tara says, I live in a 4-level split. Do I look at the 2 main levels as the main area, or do I do each level separate? Do I, like, you go up like 3 or 4 stairs, Tara? Like you have like one stair here. I think you and I better talk because um, on the different levels, it depends. On the different levels, it depends which way the stairs are facing, which way you would like um, which way you would lay the Bagua map. So what I would say is if you walk in on a main floor, use that as the one floor, and we can talk about the other floors. But if, like, how like some 4-level splits, it's like you go in and then you go up and then you might go up this way. So if that's the case, maybe just send me a DM after this and we can chat about how I would lay the map for your house. Yeah, and like, you know what? Sometimes it's not that easy to figure out. Main level is front door, go down 3 stairs to the 2nd level. Okay, then basement and upstairs are separate. Okay, I'll maybe just DM you and we'll figure it out. You're welcome, Tara. Okay, so in this Bagua map, this is what I want you to know. Just know where your spaces are in your home. So let's just talk about wealth. Where is the wealth corner of your home? And what is it that you want to create? This is the whole premise for me. What is it that you want to create? I don't feng shui. I'm doing this course right now. It's called Intentional. So every single month, we do a different area of the Bagwell map. Why am I doing this? Because I wanted to up level every single area of my life, every single area of my home, and because I just left my day job. So what more of a fun thing to do? So these girls and I are just going through and we're sort of updating and seeing like, how can we shift this and what do we want to do? But at the very base of what every single thing it is like, I always decide what is it that I want to create in this area of my life. So if it's wealth, and I have this like, I have I feel this like fearless ability to manifest a ton of money. And I always use my space. So just in February, we did intentional wealth. That was the month. And that's the month that I manifested $330,000. 330. I have had clients who have manifested millions of dollars using feng shui and like amazing things that they thought was not possible. Um, Sold their homes, sold their businesses. I mean, Shannon, me too, true story. Okay, Shannon. Um, Sold their businesses, did all of these things, and it's like it's like the extra magic from the universe, truly. It's like the extra magic. So let's just pretend, let's just start with wealth because most people want to increase their wealth when I ask them. Usually it's amazing. Usually it is career. They want to shift their career. They want to shift their wealth and sometimes health. Um, Sometimes health, sometimes relationships. And what I'm noticing is in from 2020 to now, it's wisdom, self-knowledge, inner peace, this like groundedness, this zenness. I love that this is something that is trending now for me that I see more of. But let's just start with wealth because I feel like I am a wealth generator for people. So with wealth, we want to go back into your back left corner. Your main floor is the one that has the majority of the energy to it. So you want, because that's where we usually are most of the time, right? So that's where we want it. We're going to focus today. You can feng shui all areas, but the main floor has the most power, most manifesting power. So back left corner. Now, what is it that you want to create? What is it that you would love to create? What is it that you could absolutely like step into? Do you want to like make more money, get a raise at your job? Do you want to manifest $330,000? Um, what is it that you want to manifest? What is it that you want to create? Is it just wealth creation? Is it multiple areas of wealth? Like what do we want to create? And now we're going to go into our space and we're going to look, what do I have in this space that might be holding me back from the wealth that I want to create? We want the wealth area to feel wealthy. We want it to feel like luxury. We want it to feel amazing. We want to walk in there and go, oh, this just feels so beautiful. I want my Michael Kors purse to sit in there. I love it. I want my jewelry to sit in there, baby. I love it. Now, if it's a bathroom, okay, maybe Michael Kors wouldn't like to be in the bathroom, but you could create the most amazing spa-like feeling in that wealth area. So, what is in your wealth space that might hold you back from that? We want to remove all of the clutter. We want to remove everything that would feel like lack. We want to remove old bills. We want to remove taxes. We want to remove anything that would have old energy. unless it's old money, I suppose, but we want we want to remove anything that would feel like being broken. We want to make sure that in our space, in our entire space, but specifically in wealth, but in our entire space, we don't want leaks. We don't want any broken water things like leaks in our leaky faucets or a running toilet. We want to make sure that that is all fixed. My husband and I, we seemed like when we first moved here, Cam was saying, I don't understand. Like, why does it feel like we don't have very much money at the end of our check? Like, what's going on? Because we make good money. So, why is there no money at the end of our check? And even my husband, who, he says, oh, we have a dripping sink in our wealth corner. What if I fix that money leak? Now, I'm not a panicky person. I don't love the superstition. But what I do love is the idea of fixing a leak means holding in our energy, holding in our money. It's the representation not of the leak. Oh my God, I've got a leak. I'm panicking. All of my money is leaking out of my account. More of it is, let's fix this leak and let's make it feel like that act of fixing the leak seals our money in. I'm not kidding you. That month, the month we fixed it, at the end of the month, we had 2,000 extra dollars in our bank account. And I said to Cam, okay, what happened here? Did we get paid 5 times or 3 times this month? No. Did we overpay our bills last month? Did we not pay them this month? Where is this money coming from? He says, I have no idea, but I think it's we fixed the leak. Like, it's almost impossible to figure out. I made some changes just recently and I got back $15,000 from income tax. And I'm like, I said to the accountant, no way, that's wrong. There's something wrong. That can't be. There's no possible way. Yeah, there was. Shocking. $15,381, I think it was, that I got back on my income tax. I was expecting to pay and pay by a lot, but I had overpaid and no one knew. No one caught it. I had overpaid the government. Isn't that crazy? So wild things that are unexplainable happen. So you just kind of got to go with it and like make the changes so that you feel good about your space. So in that wealth corner, it's like, what do I want to create and how can I place things in this space that represent where I want to go? Where do I want to go? What do I want to feel? How do I want to feel wealthy? What is it that I want to create? I have, um, so if you look at the Bagua map, you'll see vertical columns or something. So, I mean, you could physically put stripes on your walls, thick stripes on your walls. I had a picture in my space and it was this, I'll actually take a picture of it, but it was like these tall columns and there was trees in the tall columns. And I just moved it because I got tired of it, but it was such a good thing for me to place in my wealth guad because it was columns, it was vertical columns, but also it was vertical trees. And the trees and the wood element is great in the wealth space and it represents upward growth of your wealth. So you can do things like that would be just to add more wood. You can add water element as well. So, like a water fountain. I wouldn't put a water fountain um, or a fish tank in your space, like if it was a bedroom, but you could always put, if it wasn't, you can put something in there. You could put a bowl, adding any wood is good. One of my clients added in a tall tree into her space and then she just put coins into the pot, like into the dirt. to represent to her growth of her money. And she got a job. Actually, she got a higher paying job in exactly where she wanted to go. So what she started with was, I don't want to be away from my kids. I want a job that I love. It's more money and I get to come home every day. So we did a lot of feng shui, not a ton, maybe 6 or 7 feng shui shifts. And I think she was offered 2 jobs actually, but she took that one job. And then her long-term goal was to have her own business, which now she has. Goals are so important to us. What is it that we want to create? And how can you be as creative as possible in this space? That's the cool thing. How can you be creative as possible? So, as far as wealth goes, what else could we do? My brother, he actually he had gotten a check for $10,000, and I don't even remember what it was. And so he put that check, I think he deposited it. I think he left it for a bit, but he deposited it, and then you know how you can deposit it online and then you have the check. And so they had this tree in their space, and he put the check underneath the tree. He got an amazing job that was more money than he ever was making. And within like a week or something like that. So all of these things matter. If this happens to be your bathroom, you want to create it feeling luxurious. The color of this space is purple. If you can put in purple, that would be great. But the colors are also very regal, very royal. So, like royal blue, emerald green, sapphire purple, like some deep, rich colors. That's amazing to put in this space. So whether it's a bathroom, whether it's your kitchen, whether it happens to be your bedroom, design it and place a few things in there. So remove everything that feels like lack and add in 1 or 2 things that feels like opulence, that feels like luxury, that feels amazing. One of my favorite things is a client in this group, Sarah. She has put, oh my gosh, I just love her kitchen so much. And it happens to be in her fame and reputation area. And, oh, is it fame and reputation or is relationships? Pretty sure it's fame and reputation. And so, um, we talked, yes it is, because we talked about like what is it that you want to create for fame and reputation. She doesn't have a business of her own, and what she really wanted to be known for, fame and reputation, is like, what do you want to be known for? And what she really wanted was like this, like she wanted to bring this fun energy into her family, like being known for just being like relaxed and having fun and having this like amazing family space. She has one of those Cricut machines, and she created this cute little sign that goes in her kitchen area. And it says, "This kitchen is for dancing." Oh my gosh, that just gives me chills. I love it so much. She doesn't want to be known for being a chef, but like, how fun to just have the space and have her family be in this kitchen with her, and just like to be known for just like having fun in the kitchen, like just. Now here's the craziest thing. After she put that in her space, she put a couple other signs in her space too, but after she put that in her space, she sent me a picture and she said, "Sandra, look at my kitchen." Like her family was in her kitchen. The music was blasting. They were having fun. It's always made for dancing. But to me, and now she's famous because there are 40, however many people in this group. But it's it's so amazing to me because when we start to shift something in our space, with intention of what we want to create in our lives, it literally starts to shift and starts to happen. So I want you today to take a look at the Bagua map. Just draw a little map for yourself. Or just take a look, stand in your door, face in, and decide, what is it that I want to create? What of these 9 areas of my life do I want to focus on? And then I want you to choose just one of them. And then look and go, okay, I want to improve my health. Health, wealth, and or health, wellness, happiness. I want to improve my health. What is in the middle of my home? What can I do here? Is there a dead, dying plant in the middle of my home? That stuff's gotta go. What represents health here? What can I do? Can I put a bowl of lemons on the counter, on the coffee table? Can I put a picture of something amazing? Can I put pictures of us healthy, happy, on a trip to Disney? I have a client who she has sort of in the middle of her home happens to be a hallway with stairs on one side and I think a closet on the other. And so what she did was she placed this beautiful sort of like a sofa table, like a side table on along the wall, and she has these beautiful pictures of her family there. And one of the things that we wanted to do to improve her health of her family was to place one of those salt rocks. Do I have it in here? No, I've moved it outside, but one of those large salt rocks, the Himalayan salt rocks, salt lamps. And she's going to place one of those underneath that table to represent groundedness, to remove any negativity, to remove any negative vibes, to be healthy for her whole family. That's in the health area. There's so much that we can do. And I use Feng Shui just like I would use prayer. Because at the end of the day, our space speaks to our subconscious mind all day long. And we want to make sure it has nice things to say. So when we use the energy patterns and we know, okay, my relationship, gua, of the Bagua map, each of the 9 areas are called guas. Of the Bagua map, my relationship gua is in the back right corner. What is it that I want to create in my relationship, in my marriage? What is it that I want to create or how do I want to attract a soulmate maybe? What would we do there? I would suggest we go into that space and go, what is it in this space that represents 2 people? Do you have a lot of pictures, like one picture with one person that looks sad and lonely? You gotta get rid of that. Do you have pictures of your ex? Something that he purchased for you or she purchased for you? Like, do you have things that would hold the energy of a past relationship? Gotta let them go or place them somewhere else. It's really, really difficult. This is the example that I always use, but it's really, really difficult to be able to manifest a new relationship if you're holding on to the old. One of the things that I always do is this when I'm explaining this. If we are holding on to, imagine we're holding on for dear fucking life, we're holding on to the wage that we have, the last $50. We're holding on to an old relationship, old fears, old limiting beliefs. When we're holding on to it and something comes to us, what happens? We can't even grasp it. And in fact, if we're looking like this, we don't even see it coming. But when we can release all of the old stuff that's holding us back, when we release all those negative beliefs, when we release all the fears, when we release all the worries, when we release all of those beliefs that we've held for years and years and years, when we can let those go and sit into faith, we can open up our hands to receive so much more. And the example of probably it's going to be more difficult to manifest a new soulmate when you've got pictures of your ex all throughout your house is a really visual one. But that's what happens with our entire lives. You want to manifest better health, look to your space and go, what represents illness? If you want to lose weight, what represents the old you? What represents what beliefs and what things are in your space that make you feel guilty, shameful, fat? You know how many times I have thought about these things. I can manifest a ton of money because I've let so much go and it just made it fun and go, oh, what else is possible? But are there other areas of my life where I hold myself back? Absolutely. So right now I'm really working on like what is the self-talk that I have and what can I do to shift the energy towards weight release versus the shame and the rules and all this stuff. Like my gosh, I've got so many ridiculous rules in my life. Carbs are bad, fats are bad, grains are bad, dairy is bad, um, wine is bad, sugar's bad. Like, holy, no wonder I hate water. No wonder, right? No wonder we get confused. So what I want you to do today is just take a look and decide, choose one thing, one area you want to work on first. You don't have to work on them all. What is most important for you to do right now? And then when you can decide on that, then look to that space, remove all the clutter, remove anything that wouldn't be representing where you're going for or what you want to create. Decide what you want to create. Set some goals for yourself. Have fun. Let it be fun. And then be as creative as you possibly can in finding really cool things that just represent where you want to go. Just like my friend Sarah, whose Cricut machine created a little sign that says, "This kitchen is for dancing." So I hope that gave you a lot to think about. I hope that you've had fun. And I cannot wait because this was a little bit more, yesterday was story time. This is a little bit more on like the structure of feng shui. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about a lot of these little like fun tips that you can use to shift the energy right away and like little sort of things. I mean, some people would say superstitious. I will switch them all. I will shift them all to show you that I'm not about fear, shui. I don't like the fear because I can go there in a hot second. So I don't like that fear stuff. What I want to do is I want to show you how it's really just about what you want to create. Here's an example. I use this all the time. Ow, I use this all the time with the guys. But now, you know, those NHL hockey players that when they are in the Stanley Cup playoffs, what do? Well, they probably do a lot of things. But one of the things that they do is they won't shave their face until they're out. So we can say that's superstitious bullshit, or we can say It's something fun that they do that binds them together, that grows them together. I mean, we got dudes, dads with dad bods on the couch. It's playoff time. They're growing their beards. They're not stepping on the ice. Someone should tell them, but they're not stepping on the ice. But they do it for fun. Can we do this for fun? Or can we shift the thoughts? One of the things I'm going to tell you for wealth right now, Feng Shui says to close all of the toilet lids and close the shower curtains. Why? And here's the superstitious part. Because otherwise you've got money going down the drain. They will actually say place the stopper in the sink too. I personally think that's dangerous. If something happened and I had a leak in my sink, I do not. Hey, tech team! Yay! Tech team is here. But if I had a stopper in my sink, what happens if something happens and all of a sudden I got water on? I don't like that. There's some people who will place beautiful rocks or beautiful crystals in the bottom of their sink large enough so that the water can go through, but it's kind of covering the opening. Me, not so much. I don't put the stopper in and I don't put the rocks or the crystals. Why? Because number one, toothpaste on my rocks would be gross. Number two, soap scum on my rocks would be gross. So I don't do that. But do I put the toilet lid down? Yes, I do. And my daughter, she watches a lot of scary movies, so she refuses to keep the shower curtain closed because that's where the bad guys hide. I don't know. I wish she could close the shower curtain, but it just looks nicer. If you're a real estate agent, you're going to suggest put the toilet lid down. It just looks cleaner and neater. Here's what I'll say. I won't tell you money will go down your drain. Money will go down your drain if you don't put the lid down. What I do is every single time I put the lid down, I think, ooh, I'm keeping more money. And also, have you done the research? Have you read about toilet plumes? Have you flushed the toilet? The the fecal matter and all that stuff goes into the air and will land on your toothbrush. So gross. So, what did I do to get my kids and my husband to close the toilet lid? I told my husband, money will go down the drain. Whoa! Toilet lid has always been down because that will work for him. If I say, put the toilet lid down and just imagine keeping your money, and he's going to go, what is wrong with you? So whatever works for you, right? But I like the positive spin on it. With my daughter, it's like, let me show you this research on how far the toilet or the fecal matter flies. What? Gross. So she puts the toilet lid down. And my son, hit or miss. But this is what we tried. Anyway, so that's all I've got for you today. I hope you've loved this video. If you have any questions, please let me know. I have another appointment, but for those of you like Tara who has a complex home, please let me know. I should say too that this just works for the main floor. If you have stairs up or down, you use the same sort of process, but not from the front door. You go down the stair. If it's downstairs, you go down the stairs. And when you're standing on the bottom floor or the bottom stair and you're going to go down, that's the way that you're facing into the space is, imagine the way that you're facing into the space, that's the back wall. What you're facing at is the back wall of that bagua map. So if your door, like I have a house that's a split level, 2 level split. So I walk in on at an entrance and I go up or down. But when I'm on the top stair, I'm still facing the same way as I am when I open the door. When I go down, I'm still facing the same way as I am when I open that front door. So my Bagua maps, they are like they sit exactly the same. It doesn't matter. So if you have one of those that you walk in and it just goes like that, both floors will be the same. If you have a spiral staircase or a staircase where you go up this way and then maybe turn like this, when you're standing on the front top stair and you're facing where you want to go, that's that back wall where it would be on the left would be wealth, in front of, in the middle would be fame and reputation, and on the right would be intimate relationships, marriage. So hopefully that helps. Tara, you've got a more complex situation. So if you can even just like sort of draw me a floor plan and then have like an arrow that faces where you're facing as soon as you're on the top stair, that would be helpful probably. Okay, I'm gonna let you go. It's 11:11. So, angel number 11:11. I'm excited to see what you can create today. And we'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye.